My wife suddenly claimed she was pregnant, despite multiple negative tests. Therapy didn't help much, and she lost it, leading to an involuntary hold. Now the court will decide if she has to stay longer. This is all over the place. I really need help. My wife and I, 42 male, have been married for 2 years together for 15. All this time, we had either not decided to have kids or had problems getting pregnant. After some medical testing, we found out that it was near impossible to get pregnant due to some medical issues with her. We were thinking of adopting when one day she came home and told me she was expecting. Of course, I was super happy. A week later, we had an appointment at the gyno, and she had some blood drawn. The test came back negative, and of course I was devastated, but she wasn't. She claimed that she was pregnant and that the doctor was wrong. We took some more store-bought ones, and they all came back negative. My wife is in complete denial. Now she claims we are having twins. She is buying them clothes and decorations and is pressuring me to start with the nursery. I am at a loss and don't know what to do. My inaction is making her believe that I want to leave them and that I am going to doom my wife into the life of a single mom. What the F is even happening? I love her, but I don't know what to do. Edit forgot to add. I have tried talking her into therapy, but she accuses me of gaslighting her. Little update/edit. Thank you guys, you really helped me out. Yesterday was a bad day, and you helped me get clarity. I've had a chat with our doctor who will now be handling this with us. I would like to thank most of you with useful advice, and hopefully I will be able to update good news someday. But all the worst to those that said I should divorce her because she is crazy, and an extra FU to the guy that used this post to push his anti-abortion agenda. Update 1. I called up our primary doctor and told him about the problem. He seemed very concerned and wanted us to come see him the next morning. He said it was important to be gentle but not feed into her delusions. I sat her down, and we talked. All she wanted to talk about is when I would get the nursery started, and that we were on a time crunch, and how she has found a perfect color for the room, how she wants me to be more involved in her pregnancy. I tried to be very calm, but I was very perturbed by seeing her that way. I asked her to go to the doctor with me tomorrow. She said yes, that she wanted to check on the babies either ways. Now I took some advice and words you gave me about being calm and asking a bit why she thinks she is pregnant without calling her delusional. So I did. She kept changing subjects or saying that a mother just feels it. You wouldn't know how it is. Then I said that I loved her really much, that I would never think of leaving her, but we needed to go to the doctor to confirm her gut feeling. She got very agitated and was crying, telling me that if I wanted to leave her, I should simply leave, but I shouldn't call her a liar. Somehow I managed to calm her down enough for her to go to sleep. After she did, I went on her computer. I do never snoop on her. But I remembered a commenter pointing out forums about cryptic pregnancy, and so I went for the lookout. Oh boy. She was in 2 Facebook groups. One was a normal mommy Facebook group, and the other was a group about women that believed they were pregnant. In the normal group, she would post updates about her symptoms and pictures of her belly and her story about how she was almost not able to have children, but that's to the grace of God that kissed her tummy. The gift of life was given to her, and how she was compensated for all this years of suffering with twins. In the other group, the women were quite literally, and excuse me here, so insane. They were feeding in each other's delusions. A woman said that she was almost 2 years pregnant and how sometimes it just takes longer. My wife would post there, complaining about doctors that do not take her seriously and about me. So many women were making her fear that I would leave, saying things like men cannot stick to a woman. Many recounted their stories about how their marriages broke down because their spouses could not handle the pregnancy. I was really scared. I researched phantom pregnancies, and I read somewhere that that could also be a sign of schizophrenia. So to say the least, I could not sleep. I was and am still very afraid of losing her. She woke up, and I tried to act like nothing was wrong. We were going to the doctor. And it was as if nothing had happened yesterday. She was convinced that we were going to a pregnancy checkup. Things got really bad when we began talking to the doctor. He was really tactful when talking to my wife. He tried to explain her that it was medically impossible that she was pregnant. We tried to show her tests, the ultrasound we did the day before, but nothing. She got more agitated and began to cry and scream at me for making her look like a crazy person. She began bouncing back and forth and holding her head with both hands. We could not calm her. She went in on a full-on panic attack. She could not breathe. The doctor laid her down and tried giving her some medicine for her to relax, but it did not help as he didn't have the necessary tools to treat a panic attack that was that bad. She had to go to the hospital where they took care of her. Did an EKG to exclude that she was suffering a heart attack. At that point, I really had no other option than to inquire about involuntary commit. So I could not do it myself. I needed my doctor's statement that she was a danger to herself and others, and he had to initiate the process of an involuntary examination of 72 hours. After that, we will have to submit a written statement to the court to determine whether or not she can stay there against her will. So far, I have submitted all her posts in both Facebook groups as well as the test we did with timestamps when possible. My wife is 2 days in the 3 days examination and I have no contact to her. When I last her, she was furious with me. She said I was taking away her freedom. I felt horrible, dirty, and useless. She is so mad at me. I feel like I am abandoning her and don't know how she will ever forgive me this. I love her with all my heart. I am afraid of what will happen if the courts decide that I can't commit her, how our life will be affected. I feel like I failed to protect her. At this point, I am just rambling. Sorry for the long post. I guess I just need to vent because I have no one else to really turn to that just wants to listen. I feel judged by everyone and pitied. I just hate it. Sorry for spelling mistakes. Edit. I will not leave my wife, you unempathetic jerks. When I gave my vows, I meant through illness and bad times. I am not only on the ride for the good times. If you truly love someone, you will do whatever it takes to see them healthy again. Would you leave your spouse if they went through a severe physical illness? I am here to stay. I will not divorce her. She is not a psycho, she is sick. I hope no one of your loved ones ever has to go through this because their support net will consist of cowardly jerks. Sorry for the rant, but if you want to say something like divorce, that nut, don't even bother. I understand people that make the choice to leave if the situation when it begins to mess with their mental health, and I respect that, but I won't do that. Edit 2. My wife didn't have a heart attack. She was examined because panic attacks register with similar symptoms as heart attacks. I don't exactly know what our doctor gave her as I was so distraught, but I was not a sedative. I think it was something along the lines of Valium or Baldrian, over-the-counter stuff mostly. She has family. She is estranged from most of them. Her sister is now at our place to help. Also, refrain from such stupid comments like, "I'll bet she will leave, bro. She is cray. How did you marry her?" because they are not helpful at all. Especially the bets that are going on that my wife will leave me once she gets better. Just seems like you want me to divorce. Get a life. Update 2. Hi guys, it's me again. We have a lot of time on our hands, so I thought, why not update the community that helped me? Even if it was just to let me know that I could vent. I don't even know how much time has passed, but I am very happy to say that things are working out. I have my wife's permission to share this with you all, and she is even telling me to greet you. After being in the 72-hour stay, it was determined that she had to stay there. My wife was pissed for the first few weeks. It was a devastating time. But time and therapy heals all wounds. Slowly, I was allowed to come visit. And every day I went, I saw a bit more of the person I loved. There were setbacks along the way, and I had to watch a lot what I said and did. For example, the first few weeks she wouldn't tolerate touch or something like that. Our trust had to be regained slowly, from both parts. We put so much work in, and even now that she is back home and has been for a while, we sometimes have bad days where it is difficult for my wife to get out of bed or where I am suspicious of her getting back into that state. But at the end of the day, I am happy. We go to counseling together, and we are on individual therapy as well, especially because due to the stress I developed a form of anxiety. But every day it's a bit better. I have discovered new sides of my wife, like the new hobby that she has of making resin jewelry and decorations. Even our quarantine time has been quite peaceful. We still have remote therapy and everything. Things are not normal yet, and adoption is not back on the table as of now. We have given ourselves at least a year of therapy before we think about parenting and raising a child. One thing is for certain, I am still in love with my wife, and I still love her so much. Our relationship might not be better than ever, but it sure as hell is stronger than ever. Also, she has done a lot of self-reflection and of course has thanked me for how I handled things. She is lovely. We are happy. Story 2. My fiancé cut off his toxic dad and family, and I'm so proud. Hello everyone, this is my first time posting here, so I am sorry if I break any rules or don't do it right or anything. Earlier this week, my fiancé, D27 male, finally cut off his toxic dad and paternal family, and I just wanted to brag for a second. I don't want to tell too much backstory and make this unbearably wrong, so I will try to keep it short. When I first met my fiancé, it was when my mom worked for a children's home in our state, and he was in one of the group homes there. I did not know why he was there, just knew people were not placed in them for nothing, so he had some bad experiences in his past. As I have gotten to know him in adulthood, I learned all that has happened, and I will try to keep it short. Basically, both his parents suck. One important thing is that his dad is not his biological dad, and his dad did not find this out until Dee was 3 or so years old, and he had full custody due to Dee's mom wanting to party all the time. Dee's dad told Dee this fact when he was a child, not sure of age but younger than 12 when he was drunk one day. Actually, screw this guy. His dad's name is David, so I am calling him that because not using a name is too confusing. He was a great father before David knew anything about Dee's true paternity, but this just set him over the edge. I do know that David eventually dumped Dee off at his grandmother's house and moved hours and hours away to another state and rarely saw him. Before this, though, David would constantly drink and do other substances as well as physically and verbally abuse him. David's sisters were also continually calling the cops on Dee and making up scenarios that did not happen to get him in trouble because they hated this kid so much for no reason. Even after Dee went to live with his grandmother, David constantly manipulated and verbally abused Dee throughout his life. No good deed went unpunished, and no favors were done for him without expecting some form of repayment. Despite all this, Dee insisted that David is really a good person, he just had unfortunate circumstances, so I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to get too into the past because I was not there and do not want to risk getting any details wrong, so that's the main thing. Just mainly, all of Dee's paternal family sucks besides his grandmother, who sadly, I never got to meet. This brings us to 2023. Dee and I had a baby in September of 2022. A beautiful baby girl, M. Through parenting her and seeing how my parents are, Dee is finally seeing how truly abhorrent everything his dad did to him was, and it has taken a lot of work to move past that to be the parent M deserves and to stop the cycle of abuse with him, and I am so proud of all the work he has done. Because I was adopted and don't know any genetic diseases I may carry, and because Dee does not know his biological dad, we both decided to do 23andMe to see if we might have passed on anything bad or beneficial to M. We did not want her to do the test because with samples for kids that age, you have to take blood, and we did not want to cause her any unnecessary pain, so we just did tests for ourselves. Through this test, Dee found out he has another half-sibling and found out who his biological dad is. Sadly, he has passed on, and Dee never got to meet him. This was all during one of the many times that Dee had cut off David, but somehow David found out who Dee's bio-dad was at some point between then and now. I tried to keep it short, but that is all the necessary backstory. Feel free to ask any questions, though, and I will answer the best I can if I accidentally left something important out. We are now at July 1st, 2024. Dee texts me that he is on the phone with David and that he has had a stroke and he will call me in a second. I am unsure how to take this. Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we worried? I don't know. After a couple of hours, Dee calls me and tells me everything. 10 weeks ago in March, David had a stroke. He called and apologized to Dee about everything. He admitted to being abusive and neglectful and everything. He said all these amazing things about him and how he and I are such great parents and how he wants to meet M. Everything. He love-bombed him for about 4 hours straight. Naturally, Dee was very conflicted. It seemed like his dad was back. It was great, but he had been tricked before, so we had no idea what to do. Dee wanted to go see him. According to Dee, he was having trouble forming sentences, and it seemed like the time might be near. We have therapy every other week, and I suggested talking it over there the next day. Dee said that was a good idea, and we decided to sleep on it. The next day, Dee called some of his dad's friends to get a better idea of what happened, how his dad was doing, and all that. He then received a very rude message from his aunt that goes as follows. Nasty aunt. Please stop representing yourself as David's son. You are not his son, and the court gave conclusive and absolute DNA evidence that you are not his son. My mother allowed you to live with her because no one else wanted you. It was a sad situation created by your mother. You spend your final juvenile days in a home because you were classified as a juvenile delinquent and a ward of the state. Hopefully you have straightened up, but that does not mean that you are David's son. Please stop telling people this lie. And a new message. Your mom knows who your father is. Perhaps if she has not told you, you should ask her. This would be appropriate info for your little girl should any health issues arise. Dee, wow. I am his son and he will confirm that. Do not contact me again. This is uncalled for and very rude. You need help, lady. And so sorry that you are unable to acknowledge the truth. It is indeed painful but necessary for you to grow. D then blocked his aunt. It is also important to note that David still referred to D as his son. This is why D stated that his aunt could ask her brother and he would confirm this fact. After this message, people quit replying to D and giving him any information. Besides his dad's best friend, D's texts to his dad also were not delivering and calls were not going through. Like either he was blocked or the phone was shut off. Due to the bad state his dad was in, the night before D was worried and called the police to do a wellness check. The police stated that when they arrived, David was visibly very drunk and stated that he needed help. He also told the police that he did not care if he passed away. Because of this statement, he was Baker acted and taken immediately to the hospital. David then cussed D out and said D should change his last name to Bio Dad's last name because he was done with D. He also accused him of doing all this stuff he never did and threw things in his face from childhood and all the usual manipulating tactics these kind of parents use. D decided he has finally had enough and sent this message to T to give to David when he was good and sober. David, you and I have a complicated relationship, but this letter is to let you know that I'm done. You have stressed me out to the point of having nervous breakdowns, and I am not going to let that happen to me anymore. I feel that you do not want to get better, and I have no control over that. I've been struggling with my own addiction for years, but I haven't asked you for help because I knew you had your own vices to fight, and I am tired of worrying about you. When I told you that X and I got a divorce, you glazed over it. You didn't care maybe because I am not your biological son, or you're just a mean son of a B word. You felt like your problems were more significant than mine, and you're right. You are paying your dues for abusing, neglecting me as a child. I've seen myself slipping down that slippery slope, but I had the realization that if I kept doing that, I'd be just like you with a child who had to distance themselves from me because I won't help myself. That is Mom's problem. She's planning on laying in Sister's house and passing away because she does not want to make 3 phone calls. Hell, maybe you two are meant for each other. You both are the most stubborn and the most hard-headed jerks I have ever encountered in my life. You have to want to do better for yourself. If not, just keep drinking. I'll collect your body and have it cremated. Where do you want your ashes spread? The big difference between you and I is that I want to get better. I now believe that when I was younger, you did not want to get better. You just wanted to party and hang out with your friends and did not want to stay sober and have a relationship with your son. You'd rather get drunk and tell me, you aren't even my son as a child. That messed me up. Don't you see that's when all of my delinquency problems started? I needed a father and did not have one. You tucked tail and hauled butt to a city in a different state. Then you tried to make me stay down there with you, a man I barely knew anymore. Brother and I wouldn't let that happen. I've tried to be there for you. A little bit about a previous fight they had. Now I'm done. I'm finished worrying if today is the day I get that call. I've prayed about it, and I've been told to let you go. You gave me some of the best memories I've had. I really do see a lot of you in myself. I'll take the good and apply it to my parenting of M. Thank you for letting me know what not to do. Y'all, I am so unbelievably proud of him. Thankfully, I will never know the internal battle and courage that comes with having to do this to a parent, but he finally did it. As it is so recent, it is still hard sometimes, but I know our lives will be so much better because of this. Any tips on how to best support D during this time would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time reading. I will edit and add any additional info if there is any confusion.